Hi there, Annie. The team asked me to prepare a one-pager for you for drycorn.com. So that's what I've done. I've invested a few hours to basically prepare together with AI, of course, a one-pager of like what we see and what we think that should be the KPI map for your business. So as you can see, this is your PDF page that you received, and you will have a link here. So yeah, you can share it with someone so that they could watch this video as well. So first of all, what kind of CFO objectives people usually have? Investors, the board, executives, they want to have predictable payback period by channel and cohort. I know that this is not often what they say, but like that's something that we've encountered, that this is pretty much what they expect. So they want to know that how much they spend, what's the ROI on it. If they spend in specific month, specific amount, let's say 100,000 euros, they want to be sure that you own the math and that you're going to hit that number, let's say in 180 days or 90 days or 360 days, depending on your average order value and lifetime value expected, and depending on like what's the customer, the cost per acquisition of a new customer. So yeah, that's one. Great if you have some kind of system to visualize that. Google Sheets, charts, whatever. Then there's revenue quality, like because a lot of businesses focus too much on return on ad spend and blended ROAS or a media efficiency ratio, where you divide all of the revenue by all of the marketing spend, and this number looks good. But in reality, what really matters is this new customer revenue, net of returns and discounts, and contribution margin, of course. So that's quality, but also compare that with the marketing spend. In inventory efficiency, full price sell-through, markdown dependency, and size in stock of top SKUs. So return dynamics. So return rate by cohort, promo, refund lag, shipping threshold impact. So these are more or less the questions that would be great to have. So these are things that we recommend to look at and to build the whole system around. The KPIs map that is critical, especially from the marketing perspective. I'm a digital marketing strategist. My name is Rado, by the way. I didn't say that in the beginning, but yeah, that's what we look at the most. So basically, what's the percentage of new customers every week, every day, every month, so that we are not distracted with too many the customers returning, and that distorts the view of like the data, what overall view on the business. And also like how long does it take for the 360 lifetime value, what's the retention rate, and that influences the lifetime value the most, and what's the customer acquisition cost, so that we could compare these two metrics and know that the business and every cohort of customers we acquire is healthy for the business in the long run. Marginal ROI by channel. I know that attribution is tricky. It's so hard to wrap your head around all the attribution models from different platforms. We recommend stepping back and not looking at the platforms, not even using platforms like Northbeam or Triple Whale. These are great solutions, but each platform has their own methodology and a way of like visualizing the reality. But what I would say is the most important is to basically run incrementality tests, and we'll cover 2 tests or 3 tests that you could start off with. If you maybe you've done that in the past, maybe you haven't, but this is the most efficient way to really, and this is the old school way, to be honest. It doesn't rely on attribution. The attribution became too complex. There is ChatGPT, there is iOS devices that are not fully trackable, and so on. So of course, Northbeam and Triple Whale and all the other, and the attribution analytics coming from Meta Ads or Google Ads is helpful, but it's often too difficult to recognize what's the reality. And these 2 methods, incrementality tests of, let's say, retargeting holdouts. So basically you pick, let's say, half of Germany and the other half you don't run any tests to, and you see the uptake or let's say drop if you stop spending money on retargeting in specific locations, or you stop spending money on shopping brands, and you at least run heavy PMAX brand exclusion. to basically quantify cannibalization, at least to some extent, and try to assess if you shift more to prospecting, less to retargeting, less to brand, what's the uptake in overall number of new customers that you acquire. So these are top 2 tests that we recommend every brand to run from time to time. And and then besides that, on-site funnel, that's something to be validated, to be checked, and to observe every drop on every phase, and average order value, conversion rate, return rate by campaign, by cohort would be great. If in solutions like Shopify, you have already existing analytics platforms that allow you to monitor all that. Merge length, so like depending on like the markdown, the size, availability, this is very e-commerce related jobs, but to have all these data in one place. But I will focus more on marketing and growth. One more experiment that we recommend to run is new customer offer, just to know, to validate like what's the number of new customers that we get, that we confirm, that we know that are new customers. And maybe if it's not possible to add it and on the conversion step, thank you for the checkout page, and thank you for purchase. It could be a good way to basically quantify a number of discounts for new customers only, and that's also a great conversion to be added to Meta and Google to optimize toward. Besides that, merge and returns controls. So basically protecting margin. That's a very usual thing to basically the two different politics in every brand. Every brand wants to spend as much as possible, and especially in the promo period. And sometimes the promos, the discounts, everything is just too much. I will not dive into the first 2 points. It's I will focus on the third one. The third one is going deep into UGC and really detailed product hooks to refresh content. And even today, there was marketing operators. I just noticed that the Emotion app that we use for A/B testing. This is the CEO, and they just released why AI creative strategists will become the highest paid marketers. That's crazy, and it's 4 hours ago, and I absolutely recommend following whatever they release. But UGC and having a system in which you have not only one agency that provides you creatives, but maybe multiple creators, and testing different and it doesn't have to stick very closely to your brand guidelines. Sometimes you can drift away and test something fresh. But the more you test, the more hooks you test, the more you can test AI photos or even text, because your brand is really, really attractive for AI and AI video, in my opinion. And I think that going really deep into that area is the way to go. We also have a very comprehensive methodology to identify different personalities with deep research and trying to align all of the hooks, who, what, why, and basically try to produce as much as possible so that you can load it up to PMax or to Meta Ads campaigns, so that the algorithms could optimize themselves on themselves what's the best ad creative out there. And also depending on the intent, having different ad creatives, prospecting versus consideration. I would go deep into integrating AI and trying and testing out different photos on your website with AI. You have the clothing, you can combine it and try to visualize it in a new way. And I would also try to think about new solutions. Like this is an app and a solution that we call Crawly. We are Crawly, and this is something that we are starting. So basically, you can combine different clothes and basically try to. This is a Zara case in which you curate specific looks and you validate specific combinations of clothes. And another one is basically you upload your photo or the photo, or like you pick the clothes and you want to see how they would look combined. And there are solutions, there are providers already like that can allow you to have this virtual changing room. And I think that betting on that could be the way to go, especially with Sora 2, with Gemini, Nano Banana. All these solutions will unlock that segment. So 30, 60, 90, I think that single source of truth, Shopify, GA4 ad platforms combining all this data in one place, and making sure that you have consent mode and server-side events enabled to collect as much data as possible, optimizing product feed, defining new customer reporting, and focusing heavily on that, and making sure that you have the lifetime value, new customer information, new customer conversions even, so that you could like add it to the mix of conversions that you optimize toward in your paid media campaigns. Then I would go for running the lift tests, repairing the PMAX structure, brand exclusions. Probably the test would indicate that you get more new clients if you exclude brand and so on. As assume and speculate that maybe you haven't, but maybe you have all that optimized. I would love to take a look. That would be definitely a next step if you would be interested for us to analyze and audit basically the whole thing. Like what we do, we basically go and we take a quick look and we give you some sneak peeks of and ideas, like the video that I'm recording right now, or we go deep and we basically build the whole thing for you. Lifetime value versus CAC, marginal ROI. We try to pull it all together and visualize that, and then we make a list of ideas and we prioritize these ideas, and we create a roadmap for like half a year of like things that we believe that will bring the highest return on investment, and we also give you suggestions like how we would shift capital, of like how you spend money on specific channels, what channels we would test, and so on. Creative refresh, UGC versus studio, clear hooks, test shipping threshold, 90. Of course, reallocate to portfolio frontier. So bet on winners, cut laggards. So cut things that don't bring positive results, and as a result of very advanced methodology to run proper geo tests, which are the most efficient ways in our opinion to identify that the channel is actually not that performant, that doesn't perform that as well as we expected. Especially maybe you run Pinterest campaigns in the past, but for example, attribution from Pinterest shows sometimes return on ad spend of 8, 7, crazy numbers, because they also duplicate traffic that would convert anyway. Yeah, so these are the things that we would focus on the most. Some forecast. This is something we also built. We also try to forecast seasonality based on your seasonality. So that's one of the tools that we use, and it shows you a seasonality that is dedicated to your business, and in here we can see that clearly there's seasonality. We also bet heavily on like how much you should spend in specific month or week or even day, if we have daily data, because it seems like you are quite your business is quite seasonal, and it is necessary to test also whether it makes sense to spend more or less, like what kind of strategy you should invest: aggressive, extremely aggressive, or budget cuts even, or maybe conservative where it's almost flat. And that can also bring 1, 2, 3, 5% of efficiency gain. All right, so Germany, Netherlands, these are the top markets that you're in. These are some screenshots I took. So I compared you against a couple of competitors here: Closed, Rise, Flippa, Samso, and Tiger of Sweden, and so on. So as we can see, this is a traffic value. So this is how much you would spend in Google Ads. It looks like you're actually shrinking compared with the competitors. Some competitors are growing steadily, and in your case, it seems like it's stuck to some extent. So this is something that I would definitely investigate and check why and what kind of keywords are stuck, and why aren't you gaining visibility to more keywords. There used to be a lot of organic pages indexed, way more than competitors. Very similar number to Flippa. So, but just recently, the number of pages just decreased a lot. So that's something to investigate. What I've also noticed, and why I decided to say that brand keywords in paid campaigns is something to be excluded and test and validate the results. I just checked your paid keywords, and of course this tool doesn't show me everything, but I've just noticed that all of them contain your brand keywords. So it seems like it's not excluded. Besides that, brand keyword is a great proxy to recognize whether the brand in the long term is growing or not, because that's a proxy for a number of returning customers. And what we see here is that it peaked in February 2024, and since then, actually, brand is stagnant or even declining. And something similar is going on with non-brand keywords. It was growing steadily till February 2024, then it got stuck, but also brand. And brand should continue going up, even in spite of like the lower number of non-brand visitors. Why? Because this is a proxy for returning customers. So there is actually less, the same number of returning customers or similar. You're not compounding the overall number of returning customers since more or less that moment. That's something to be investigated, in my opinion. The overall organic traffic, as you can see, you're the blue line. So that's more or less the same story since, February 2024. That's something but maybe it's the overall state of the industry. Maybe all of the competitors have that challenge, but we can take a look at Tiger of Sweden. It's climbing up slowly. IPA also declined, but I would say that Samso, it's going up steadily. I would say that the growth of your brand didn't manage that well since 2024 as the competitors. Referring domains, that's a proxy for how strong is your domain. All the other competitors have been able to increase the overall number of domains. I know that it's 2020 or 2015, the SEO strategy, depending on like the number of domains, but the GEO and large language models optimization is also extremely important. And it also relies on all of the signals and mentions that are out there in the internet, and basically a number of links and referring domains is still a good proxy to recognize whether you're gaining visibility and mentions, like PR mentions and just visibility or not. And that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you. This is something that I covered already. This is more or less recommended budget, and maybe I'll just at the end show you how we see this is how lifetime value and how it should be calculated. What's the CAC? How many new customers you acquired that is attributed to specific month, and how this cohort from January 2024 of 3,101 was the return rate, and how much on average this cohort has left money with the business so far, and observe that really, really careful. And it's also possible to, CAC payback to see how long does it take, how many months does it take to break even and basically produce profit for the company. Thank you. The next steps, I would recommend absolutely this, a conversation and also investigation. What happened? Why you stagnated a little bit since February 2024. And happy to meet next time, and take care. Bye.